lads, what is going on? And welcome to Season 3, Episode 17 of The Running Irishman. In this episode, it is one of the first Sunday, or actually it's a little bit late out now. I'm streaming over on twitch.tv/Running Irishman now on Monday at 9:15, but this will be going live at over on YouTube for everyone to watch, and obviously to listen over on Anchor or Spotify or wherever at on Tuesday at 6 p.m. So yeah, it's a bit weird with people, watching on Twitch, and then also people watching this when it goes live over on YouTube. But we have quite a lot to get through, especially for a Sunday's episode. I have all my notes here, right in front of me. Really quick, just before we jump into this episode of the podcast, as you just heard, I am live streaming this episode over on twitch.tv/TheRunningIrishman1. On Thursday's episode of the podcast, I didn't do there was no intro or anything at the start of the episode, mainly just because I kind of forgot. I was kind of a bit in a rush to get that out in a way, and there was no intro for that. So yeah, I was meant to mention I was live streaming that also over on Twitch. But if you want to support the channel, if you want to listen or watch the podcast live before they go out, and kind of just interact with me a bit more, because over on Twitch I will be answering like viewer questions and everything. So if you want to hop in, it's twitch.tv/TheRunningIrishman1. I'll have a link down in the description for anyone to watch that. We are currently live here. It would really, really help me out a lot. Kind of want to broaden my horizons in a way for all the platforms that I'm currently on. But yeah, we are here now and we're live. So that's pretty much all the plugging I kind of have to be doing at the moment. So I'm kind of just gonna jump into it. So for this week's episode, I'm going to kind of do a bit of a catch up for when I was, I took a week off of the podcast last week or 2 weeks ago now. So I'm gonna quickly run over what that was like in terms of running, and kind of just see where I'm at the moment as well in terms of this week, just because last week technically last week is the week of training I'm going to be talking about this week, or going to be going over what I just completed, but in terms of the week of training I just took off, the week of the podcast I took off, I'm gonna talk about how running was like for that week, just briefly, nothing too major, and just swiftly go over that. So 2 weeks ago, this basically is where I took the week off the podcast. This was my first week back running after the week break I took off for my right glute, and my knees are at me also a little bit. So this is kind of when we start getting back into the swing of things, you could say. So 2 weeks ago, when I was coming back after the groin niggle, I started off slow. I didn't want to, go too crazy whatsoever. I done 30-minute Monday, 35 minutes Tuesday, 40 minutes Wednesday, 45 minutes Thursday. Had a session that Saturday, which was really tough. I'll get more into that now in a minute. And I also had a 75-minute long run on Sunday. Actually, not to lie, I done 60 minutes 2 weeks ago, or last week, because it's Monday now, so I'll just say last week as if it's Sunday. But yeah, so I didn't want to, as I said, I didn't want to get back into it too hard straight away. I kind of wanted to just take it slow. Didn't want the niggles to be coming back, and that's exactly what I done. So as I said, Monday last week I done a 30-minute run, nice and slow. I felt actually pretty good on these runs. It was nice being able to go a little bit of a shorter distance. I wasn't dreading them really as much as I do sometimes. Yeah, no, that was really good. And then 35 minutes on Tuesday. Again, I was feeling really good. My legs are feeling really, really fresh. And the pain in my groin had pretty much gone. I'll talk a little bit more about that late as we get on further into this episode. Then obviously 4 minutes, and then 45 minutes, the first 45-minute run I done there last week was on Thursday, and yeah, it felt pretty good. I felt grand on that. But then moving on to Saturday, we had a 2 by 10 minute session, which was it was absolutely killer. It was really really tough, and especially only after coming back for a week or so. Since then, it was, yeah, as I said, it was quite tough. I don't have the stats for that. As I said, this was the week that I was taking the break of the podcast, so I wasn't taking anything down for notes in terms of the runs for the podcast. Um, but I'll tell you now, for one thing, it was it was really really tough, and yeah, it really, I could really feel it then in my legs here then on the 60-minute run I had on I had last Sunday. I went really really slow. I think I was going like 5 minute pace per kilometer. It was really really slow, but as I said, it was only a slow run, and especially after the first session, my legs are first session back in about 2 weeks, because 2 weeks before that, I don't think I'd done a session for 2 weeks before the 2 by 10 minutes session. So yeah, it was really really tough, but it was a good week to get back into it, and to get back training, and no, no, I was happy with it. In terms of a few things to go over now, in terms of how the week off training went, um, so basically the week off training, what was that? Is that 3 weeks now? This week, the week just gone, I done my normal week of training. Then the week before that was this, where I done the 30, 35, 40, 45, the session, and then the 60, which I think I'd averaged about, I don't know, maybe 45k that week possibly. I'm not too sure. But yeah, then the week before that was the week I had taken off. So I didn't really do much. I done a good bit of rehab. It really did now, especially my knees. Like, my knees is more kind of ground pains, in a sense where I can ice them. I can try, make the pain not as bad, but I can't. There's nothing I can really do to completely get rid of it. So basically, yeah. But in terms of my glute pain, I was getting the massage going into that. I was, I wasn't too heavy in terms of my foam roll knob, but I done a good bit here and there, and it definitely did help with my groin. In terms of my knees, especially during last week's 2 by 10 minute, in terms of my 2 by 10 minute session, it was hurting a little bit during the second 10 minute, but I feel like the knees will kind of just go away on their own, and kind of they'll just fix themselves whenever it happens. But now it's not bad at all. Now I'll get a little bit more into how I'm feeling now and how my runs are going. I'll get into that kind of when I'm talking about the week of training I just completed, that I just have completed. Sorry. So yeah, the injury now is fine. My groin, around that area, or sorry, not my groin. I keep saying my groin, my glute. Around that area is kind of, it's a little bit stiff. Not sore by any means, but definitely it's 99% in the sense that if I kind of just keep at it with like the massage going and foam around it out, it will definitely start to loosen up. But as of right now, it is definitely a little bit stiff, but nothing too bad. And as I said, with my knees, they will kind of just they'll kind of just fix themselves up. So yeah, my legs now are feeling good. I'll get more in depth about how my legs are feeling now, as I said, when we get more into this week's training, where we can actually see the stats of each run and the session this week, and kind of base off how I'm feeling off that. But yeah, no, so kind of a quick recap over that. How was the week of training? It was a break of training for a week. It was really nice. It's mad kind of how running does kind of take over your life, in a sense, where, because I was off school. Was I off school? Not no, it wasn't. It was the last week before I got off school, for Easter for 2 weeks, and um, it's mad. Like you can go out after school, you can have your dinner whenever, you can do a lot more, but that was really nice. So it's kind of it was interesting to see in a way, how taking like a few days off running can kind of let you do more. But I suppose that kind of what comes with the I don't know, dedication, even, you could say, if that's not even the right word to use, but kind of just with the commitment, even, in a sense. The injury now, not 100%, 99%, I'd say, thereabouts. And how are my legs now? As I said, we will go over that in this week. In terms of this week's training, kind of just, before we jump into this week, not only was it kind of my first full week back of running, it was more of, there was another factor that played in, and that was the weather. The weather was really hot last week. It was 15 to 20 degrees Celsius for each run, and it was also like 17 degrees Celsius on Saturday when I was doing my session. So yeah, it was quite hot, to say the least. But we'll kind of just jump in and we'll go through everything. There's a bit of a trend in this week's training. It starts off good. My legs are feeling well, but then they kind of start getting back into the normal way of each run kind of starts catching up on itself in a way, and you can kind of feel each day before that's run. And yeah, but no, we'll kind of just jump straight in. As I mentioned the weather already, I won't be going back and forth to talking about each day in terms of how hot it was. Just keep in mind that it was 15 to 20 degrees Celsius for pretty much every day last week. So yeah, we will jump straight in. So Monday was 45. I was about to say 45 degrees. It was a 45-minute run. I done 10.11k at 4:30 per kilometer, which I was quite happy with. Again, Monday was really hot. I think Monday was one of the hottest days of the week. Decent run, felt okay. Again, the heat, but you know, getting back into it felt pretty good. Moving on to Tuesday, 45-minute run. Already we can kind of see I done 9.57k at 4:43 per kilometer, or 5.95 miles at 7 minutes 34 seconds per mile. Already we can kind of see the pace and the mileage kind of drop off a little bit. Not the best run whatsoever, 9.57k. I am being like a little bit kind of hard on myself in a way where, I'm just back after kind of being on and off for a few weeks. So it's gonna take a few days or a while, or not a few days, like a week or two, I'd say, before I'm fully fit and fully back training. So, or not fully back training, fully back training well. So yeah, no, you can already kind of see the pace starting to drop off a little bit. But again, these are kind of just simple runs that the pace doesn't have to be crazy for at all. But anyway, we will move on to Wednesday. Tuesday, again, as I said, it was really, really hot. Moving on to Wednesday. Wednesday was 45. I was about to say again 45 degrees Celsius. It was a 45-minute run, 9.85k at 4:44 per kilometer, or 6.12 miles at 7:36 per mile. So a little bit faster than Tuesday, and a little bit further distance. Decent run. I don't want to keep going back to it, but again, the heat was really, really bad. Especially from being from Ireland, where we don't get this heat all the time. When it hits you, it's kind of like it's really, really, really bad. So yeah, not the worst run in the world. Kind of still getting back into us. Again, I'd say it'll take about a week or two before I kind of start getting back into feeling comfortable at 4:30 per kilometer pace. Because that's what I was kind of feeling that for a while, before the niggles came along. during before, as I said, that's was 4:30 pace was quite comfortable in a way before the niggles came along. You can even see on Monday's run was 10.11k at 4:30 per kilometer. So yeah, I'm kind of just wanting to be back at that place as quickly as possible, and I'll kind of say why near the end of the at the end of this episode. It's quite exciting. A few things have been announced in terms of getting back with the team, so I'll get more into that near the end of this episode, and obviously near the end of this live stream. For anyone that's just joined us, I'm going to keep this in the video and all, because it's just to remind people to come over to the live stream. We have a few chats in here now. So Luke, indeed, is, we love to see it. All right. Senna McGlynn, nice sheets. Joshua Peters 481, nice sheets. HGY 9-1, I don't know. Hi, hello. You can see they're talking about obviously the iconic Bob the Builder sheets in the background. Don't care, they are iconic. Actually, that's just a blanket. I'll show you now. I have Liverpool bed sheets under there. Actually, you couldn't see that. You can see them there. But yeah, that's just that is an iconic blanket. I've had that since, well, I've had it for ages, but obviously since the start of the podcast, that has been there. So yeah, it's definitely an iconic blanket. So for everyone in the chat, dropping bars on the blanket, I think you need to put a bit of respect on it. So I'd like to see some apologies in the chat. But anyway, moving on to Thursday. We had a 50-minute run, longest run for the past few weeks. But you know, again with the heat, it was quite tough. 50 minutes, 10.82k, which again I'm not too happy with. You know, I was cracking out a few. Here we go, Joshua Peters, respect in the chat. I want to see a few more, because that was just disrespectful to the Bob the Builder sheets. But yeah, I was cranking out, you know, over 11Ks for these 50-minute runs. Senna McGlynn, sorry boss. There we go. We have a few more rolling in now, which is good to see. But anyway, yeah, I was cranking out a few 11Ks, over 11K at about 4:30 per kilometer, for each of these 50-minute runs. Again, like, I don't want to be taking each run. I'm feeling like I'm a bit too hard on myself in a way, where it's like I'm taking these runs too kind of as time trials, in a way where it's like I need to kind of be quote unquote PBing every time I go on a run, and which I definitely do not need to be. So yeah, that's something I kind of need to work on, especially for where my fitness is at the moment. But look, we'll just have to move on. So as I said, it was 10.82k at 4:43 per kilometer, or 6.72 miles at 7 minutes 35 seconds per mile. Not the best run in the world, but not the worst either, by any means. So yeah, they were kind of the mid runs, the mid to, like, you know, longish runs over the course of the middle of the week. Moving on to Friday, I had a rest day. You know, it was nothing much happening as well. I am on a break off skill, so there isn't much happening at all anyway. But yeah, so just what to do, just went out with my mates for a bit. A few of the boys are in the chat at the moment. And yeah, no, it was a good rest. I done a bit of foam rolling, done a bit of stretching and recovering. So yeah, getting ready for what definitely was a tougher session than I expected it to be on Saturday. Again, Saturday was really, really hot, and for a session it was not great at all. But we will get into it. So Saturday session, before I ran up to the park, I done my stretching and foam rolling. I jogged up to the park as part of my warm up, and done my strides there. The session was 3x2k. So technically, if my 5k, my best 5k pace is about what, like 340 per kilometer. Joshua Peters in the chat, how hot was it? I think that's Tommy. Not as hot as me, lol. But anyway, Yeah, kind of, he's taking me off track a little bit. Anyway, um, yeah, so it was really really hot and not ideal for the session. As I was saying, if I was kind of taking in consideration of like a 17 flat 5k is 325. So if my 5k for 1711 is about like a 335 ish pace. So it wasn't actually too bad. This is kind of the times for each 2k that I'd kind of be expecting a little bit. Just say 335. Times two is what, like six, or no, like seven. What, 710 ish? Yeah, 710. And I was getting 704, 703, 702. And they were my reps. So the first one was a 704, the second one was 703, and the third one was a 702. And I'm pretty sure that's right. 335 and 335, so 3 and 3 is 6, 3 and 3 is 6, is 7, and then the two fives, yeah, so 710. So that is faster than my current 5k pace, which I'm really really happy with, especially with being on my own. Again, going back, it was really really hot for a session, and kind of just not being fully fit at the moment. I'm really really happy with this session. For a cool down, I jogged home. So yeah, it was really really tough. No doubt about it. It was super super tough, but really 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 good session. So yeah, really, really, really happy with it. Moving on to Sunday. So yesterday for me, or 2 days ago for the people watching or listening to this when it goes live, or for the boys in the chat and girls, of course. This was yesterday. It was a 75-minute run, so my longest run in about 2 weeks. I went really, really slow. My legs were feeling quite stiff and quite sore from Saturday's session, as it was really really hard. 75 minutes. I was actually pretty happy with this. I done 16.1k at 450 per kilometer, or 10 miles at 741 per mile. Good, like not a good run, but like slow run. Felt like I was going really slow. Obviously I felt stiff at the start, but kind of eased into it as I was going along, and kind of 450 per kilometer. Like if we scroll up for, like, let's see, 444 per kilometer on Wednesday is the slowest pace I went over the course of the week. I'm pretty happy with that, and I think Sunday runs is kind of just a mindset where I have my mind in slow. Like I'm going slow because of how long the run actually is. But then, like, because I'm in that mindset, like, oh, this is a slow, easy run. This is an easy run. My legs just feel like it's easier, and then I still go at like a decent enough pace. So yeah, really really happy with it. And moving on to total K this week, we are again into the 60s with 62.45 kilometers, or 38.80 miles. Really happy with it. Obviously not my highest mileage ever. I need to go back and check what that actually is. I'm pretty sure it's around, it's within the 67s. I'll scroll down. Is this it here? Highest ever mileage. Oh, 64.46. So if I done further on my Sunday run, I done a little bit less on Saturday session. I done a little bit less on Thursday, a little bit less on Wednesday, a little bit less on Tuesday, and a little bit more this Monday. So I'd say if next week is a good week, I have the challenge our coach set us for the session this week is a 60 or a 2 minute cycle again, but this time it's by 12. So like 75 seconds on, and well, like 15, or no, 75 seconds, a minute and 15 on, 45 seconds off. So yeah, that would be over about 6k. So that'll be more than I done this week. If my runs go well, then I could hopefully have a new high mileage record. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And the QOTW, the question of the week this week is, when am I back with the team? I kind of took a sneak peek at this earlier, in the episode. But there has been a few announcements in terms of the Irish government of, when things are kind of starting to slowly reopen, when training can start back, and I'll kind of real quickly just go through them. So, from the 12th, so from next Monday, the 5K, from the 12th of April, next Monday, the 5K radius is being lifted. And these are the two most important for me. And then on the Monday, April 26th, under 18 outdoor sports training can continue in small groups. I'm not sure if that was a thing, if it can just continue or if it has to be in small groups. But yeah, so that means on the 27th, which is obviously the 26th of the Monday, so the 27th is a Tuesday where I'll be up with the team, should be the first training back with the team. I'm presuming it'll just be a run, but I think we're all pretty fit at the moment, a few of us anyway. I feel like I'm not as fit as I can be, obviously because I've been on and off a little bit with training, but I am, I'm getting there. I'm fitter than I've ever been before, except for before I've gotten injured during this lockdown, I think. Or the fittest I ever could have been was when I set that 17:11 5K. I'm not sure. Maybe if by the time we get back to the team and if we done a 5K time trial as a team, maybe then I would be. That would kind of give me an indication of how fit I am at the moment. But I think if I didn't have the injury with the niggle in my glute and my knees weren't at me, I think I could be fittest I've ever been. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously we've been upping the mileage and whatnot, but when me and a few lads have been sending in to the group on WhatsApp for telling the coach that we've done the session and sending all our times, I can see that I'm pretty fit at the moment, and I can see a lot of the lads are pretty fit at the moment, which is really, really great to see. And I just can't wait to be back with the team. Hopefully nothing comes up in the meantime. Hopefully everything's kind of, smooth sailing in a way. We can get back on the 27th and just have normal training as usual. So as I said, fingers crossed about that. We're just gonna have to wait and see. One last thing before I wrap this episode up and end the live stream is we have a huge guest this week on Thursday's episode with the one, the only, the American mullet man, Craig Engels. I know a lot of people that maybe are watching this stream who don't know too much about running, but if you're watching this episode on YouTube or listening to it, Craig is an absolute legend. He's a world championship runner. He's Olympic runner. He's an international American runner, and he also has the best mullet in all of world athletics. So really looking forward to that. I will be live streaming that over here on twitch.tv/TheRunningIrishman1. So make sure all links are down in the description for anyone that is watching this episode or listening to this episode after the live stream. But yeah, training at the moment is going pretty well. As I said, just can't wait to be back with the team. These runs, especially the sessions, I quite enjoy the sessions and don't mind them too much. They are quite tough, but yeah, the sessions or the runs, are kind of getting a bit annoying in a way, in the sense that I know Sunday and Wednesday I would Monday, Wednesday and Sunday I'd be doing runs on my own anyway, but Sunday I do every now and then go up to S.3 with meet up with some of the lads and do the long run then with them, but also having kind of the few days like the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, having that kind of broken up with the team is always really good. So I have we have people to talk to, and then I don't mind doing 2 runs during the week on my own. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up this episode of the podcast and this live stream. I hope everyone watching the live stream did enjoy, and I hope everyone watching or listening at home did enjoy. As I said, if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening to this episode, make sure to follow me over on the RunningIrishman.official Instagram. And again, follow me over on Twitch. I'll be doing a lot more over there, and you'll be getting to interact with me a little bit more, and also you can be watching the episodes before they even go live. So I hope you'll enjoy, and I'll see you all next time.